from Brisbane, Australia, ACL Brisbane, the first event here on the national circuit. Now I'm Mike's joined by Vilesider. Vilesider, first, welcome. How does it feel to be behind the casting desk?
I'm so excited. It's been so long. I haven't casted probably since Black Ops 2. It's been a very long time since I've had this cute little micro in my head.
I think you started right after, or you stopped casting right after I started.
Oh,
so
really?
we never really had a chance to get into it. But it's great to see we finally get this opportunity, and it's great to see we have such a great game to lead up in as well.
Yes, I'm so pumped. We've got this series up next. I'm happy we've got MF and AV up. Pretty keen. I think it's going to be pretty mint.
Once again, from the Pro Pool here on the Alpha stream, Plantronics Mindfreak taking on AVANT T1. You can see them there, of course. Mindfreak, once again, on the left, on the blue side, and on the red side, we have AVANT T1. Now, it's such a crazy matchup. These teams, of course, respectively, I do believe, first and third in the Pro Pool itself. Yep. What can you tell me a bit about these teams?
Well, we know MF. They're just back from Gfinity. That's a huge deal. They played excellently at Champs as well, and I just spectated their series beforehand. They're playing very well. Usually it takes them probably a couple of games to get warmed up and to sort of get in the feel of things, but they're coming out hot out of the gates. I know Buzzin just absolutely shredded that first series on that hard point. I think he dropped probably a double positive. It's ridiculous. As for AV, this is a fairly fresh lineup. I think this is brand new for this event, actually. With they've got Wolfie on the end there. I think that's the major adjustment. I think if he plays well, this will be a pretty scary squad, because I know they've got Hopi on chin duty, but they've got Wolfie down on the end, so it's going to be a bit scary, in all honesty, the double chins. Hysteria is old school. He's been around for forever. I think is this his first LAN other than a COD Champs? I think it actually is.
I think it might be, actually. Yeah. That's actually a very good question. I think
yeah.
we should ask him that.
I probably should,
on,
but I'm pretty sure this is his first LAN outside of a Champs, because he played Champs with me back in Black Ops 1, and we placed third, and then we were going to play this year Champs, but he dodged last second, which was a little bit lame, and I haven't quite forgiven him for it, but whatever. So this will be good. I think he's got a fair bit to prove here. Of course, we've got Issei. He'll shred. He went to Champs. Yeah. He's a boss. It's funny seeing him away from Chileans, though. It's going to be...
Yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting change, because it is the first LAN event for him as well on his new team. And as you mentioned, it's the first LAN event for this new roster. And they're going up against the team of Mindfreak, who competed internationally, competed locally at the highest level. And they've been using that same roster.
Well, that's probably the toughest thing they're going to have to overcome. Like, this AVANT squad is actually good. Like, on paper, it's good. In practice, I think it's good. But against MF just has so much time together. It's going to be such a hard series for them. I think it'll be close in maybe probably the latter game types, maybe not the hard point. I think MF is just playing so well in their hard points right now. I think it'll be, I don't know, probably 50-point lead for the hard point.
50-point lead, so that's good. That's already one prediction down. Of course, for those who missed it, first match of the day here on Alpha, we had Mindfreak taking on Ignitions, of course, representing that Uproar organization. Now, Ignitions themselves, formidable team coming all the way from New Zealand.
Yes, that's so cool.
Yeah,
we never see Kiwis over here.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming a trend of the recent events.
It's such a good trend too. That's what I'm so happy about.
Yeah, and I mean, using their newly formed lineup as well, Ignitions, they were looking to make a little bit of a bang, but they just weren't able to. And I mean, up against Titans and Mindfreak, it is going to be a little bit hard to do so. But Mindfreak, I mean, they just came into the round one. They calm, collected, relaxed. They bros through pretty comfortable. Yeah,
the hard point was close at the start. Oh, not at the start. Sorry, I think they brought it back on the top car park hill. It was a little bit close. I think it was about a 10-point lead. I think Mindfreak had, but then again they just used that bit of time, and they just took their time, made the break, and then that was pretty well it for the rest of IG for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and I mean, you saw that scoreline represent, of course, for those who did miss it. Mindfreak walked away with that. Now, for those just tuning in at home as well, this is an all-3 series, so teams will be required to play all 3 maps for correct seeding into the actual double elimination bracket as well for Championship Sunday. But, I mean, Vol, you already talked about your map 1 predictions.
Yep.
What do you think for the overall series?
For the overall series...
We've got Hardpoint Retreat, Capture the Flag Ascent, and Search and Destroy Biolab.
I think, based on those maps, it's probably going to be a 3-0. I feel like there could potentially be a 2-1. I think AVANT could potentially take the CDF. Ascend, I don't know how MF feels about Flag, but Ascend can be a little bit gross, especially the way AVANT will play it. Because I know when we played against Dave, it's disgusting. He sits all the way at the back of the map and plays some pretty hard D. And it sort of messes with teams, because you're meant to sort of push up, take mid control, and then attack their base. but Dave sort of plays it all the way back and allows for sort of like a lot of middle ground, a lot of middle movement, a lot of sort of just like one-man flanks. It's not team play and it sort of plays a little bit randomly, but it's a bit, I don't know. I think they can take it, especially if they play weird. It'll come down to clutches, but I think if MF makes them play the map the way they want to play the map, then it'll be a bit messy.
Yep, so you definitely think that it is going to be a 2-1 best case scenario for the AVANT squad.
Scenario.
Worst case, of course, is going to be that 3-0. And I mean, with all three maps, they still guarantee themselves a top 4 position there in the double elimination bracket for making sure they made themselves and guaranteed a spot in that pro pool. So, they're playing well, so far in the day. Their first series result went through.
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure on the exact result from that game, but I mean, this is map number 2. They can't use the warm-up card because they've already they've
had the
warm
warm-up.
day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Leading on with that, though, I mean,
What do we got?
We've got the Pro Pool having been featured on. For those who are tuning in at home as well, remember we do have a Bravo stream, and you can check out all the action there on mlg.tv/ACL2 as well for all the action. That is from the feature station as well. And for all those who might be a little bit of a Brisbane local, be sure to stop on down at the venue.
Please, come say hi.
If you're in the area and you are 15 plus, feel free to stop on down with your ID and come on through. It is a requirement.
I didn't get ID'd.
You did.
I did not get ID'd. I
did.
just walked straight in. They know me.
You did compete at Call of Duty Championships, so
did.
you had to be plus 18
I
for
did.
that. So technically, your ID is already on hand.
I just wear it. Yeah.
But that's
Don't
okay, of
pick on me.
course. We are just waiting on these teams to get that, get a couple of those final players get in. Of course,
Yeah, I
as you
think
can see them, they're just
cranking
setting
out the
up.
bathroom break.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Mindfreak was just on that main stage, so back-to-back games. It is a little bit tiring at times. But you can see the players there from, of course, AVANT over onto that, that sort of right half of the screen, and then Buzzin taking up the left half there. But
Taking up the left half.
and
Yeah, look at those guns.
You can see Shox' head there in
Look
the
at the
background.
guns.
But, I mean, you are, of course, going to be having these plays. And, I mean, they're going to be rocking some different gamer tags, so to speak. I mean, love and not a fighter. Mercedes-Benz. You saw them featured in the alpha.
Mint. Whoever came up with that, fantastic. Please, more. I'm a little bit disappointed Shox didn't do anything. He's usually fairly amusing. COD 15 is not really my gig. Mike's mate, what do you think? These 3 maps. Give me your predictions. I gave you mine. I gave you the professional intel.
I always do try to dodge these questions.
No,
as
you
quick as I
can't
can.
dodge this question.
I
What do you
go through
think?
it. We've
Tell
got
me.
Hardpoint Retreat as once again, Capture the Flag Ascend to Search and Destroy Biolab. Now, I do agree with you in the sense of possibly a 2-1 best case, a 3-0 worst case. However, I do think that the maps are going to be fairly close as well. I don't think it's going to be a whitewash.
Really?
I think it's going to go close, and I think that's going to be determined by by Hopi and by Wolfie as well as Izzy hyping up the team. If you can see that hype, if you can hear,
I forgot about that hype factor.
That brother coming out as well from them, hyping up their team and constantly having that hype train going around them, I definitely think it's going to be a close one. I mean, if they can rely on that as well to ride them through, because remember, they're wearing those soundproof muffs as well.
Yes.
They're only going to be in themselves, in the zone with their team. So if they can get their motivation, their hype, and that hype factor up, I definitely think it can be a huge impact there in this game.
Jumping on that hype factor, I'm actually pretty amused at that, especially with Hopi, because I teamed with Hopi for a very long time, and we had an element of hype, but it was never anything as extreme as what SA brings, and I'm sort of weirded out by Hopi sort of having to listen to that, because I know a few times when we would sort of get a little bit loud, Hopi just like, shut up, I'm trying to focus sort of thing. Yeah. So I don't know how that's going to go with SA screaming in Hopi's ear.
So it could prove to be a negative impact.
Well, I don't know, I know Hopi likes to get loud. He's probably one of the most vocal and probably verbally violent people I've ever teamed with. But I think it'll either be a bit of a detriment to Hope, or it's going to G him up and he's going to play like a total boss.
As you can see there, though, that is the Brisbane venue here, live from the Edge. I forgot to bring that out as well for those Brisbane locals. So if you do want to stop them out, that is the Edge here
we're right in the water.
Southbank. And, I mean, it's a great view for one, but you can see the main
is.
stage there on your screens at the moment. And, of course, to the right, a little bit of the feature station there where the Bravo stream players are playing as well. So you can see that there. That's very nice. Some pimping Astro plugs in as well. So a nice Astro feature station. Of course, there is a separate Astro feature station for all those interested in maybe purchasing some Astro products. Thanks to Blue Mouth Interactive.
Yeah, David's running things up the back there. I know he's got some nice gear, and have a check out of the new game stuff that Mindfreak has when you walk in the door. Actually, really cool looking, especially the skins. Do you see their skins?
No, I
on the
have
games
not.
things. They've got like personalized, customized Mindfreak skins for their games. So like Fighter's got his little name printed across the top.
That's really cool, and I think
is
that's
pretty cool.
that's definitely a positive for them using their games at the same time.
Yeah, I
And
think they're pretty cut there on main stage, in all honesty.
it could possibly be. Either way, though, big shouts, of course, to Astro, BenQ, and HyperX for all their support here. And yeah, as you can see there, players still just trying to get that last player in, and of course, possibly a couple of technical issues. But you can see them, they're getting in the zone, so there might be a little bit of a warm up as well. You see a cheeky person in the firing range at the same time. There on that screen on the right that we can see. So yeah, you can see, and I do believe that possibly is Wolfie possibly getting in the zone.
Yeah, I think the end players are the ones on the big screens. Look at Dallas down there. Look at him. Look at him in his stupid green tie.
No comment. No comment there.
Oh, I'm so happy I'm tireless today.
Pretty.
So comfortable, so airy. It's nice in here.
I think it's definitely it is a factor for you. Just joining. It's a factor. It's going to be one of the things
jersey.
to bring you to that next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you can back up that talk. But
mate, I've done this gig before. It's been a while. It's just give me a map or two to warm up, and we'll be crushing skulls.
I'll give you that one. As you can see there, of course, for those who might just be tuning in, the official hashtag here for the event is hashtag ACL Brisbane. Be sure to go ahead and tweet your predictions.
Yes, tweet at us. Let us know.
Yeah, tweet at us. You want to plug in yourself
yes. Right there? Oh, add FileSider. Tweet things at me. Give me predictions. I want to know. Just tell me how you feel. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if you think it's going to be like a flat 3-0 to AV. And tell me why. I need a why. That's important.
You need a why, okay?
Yes,
so
that's important to me. I don't like just sort of saying stuff.
You don't want just a one-word answer. You want things to go.
Give me reasoning. Give me logic.
Yeah, okay. Be sure to
or feelings or
them
emotions
off to him. And I've been given the heads up to start this game, and it
Call
does seem like one of the players was having some technical issues. So we are going to be seeing one of the name tags change to Bioacid.
Oh, really? Oh,
that was why he was featuring there on the screen.
Who is Bio playing as? Who is he replacing?
We'll find out once the players load in.
Okay, excellent. I'm excited. This is exciting.
This is really exciting. Once again, Hardpoint Retreat.
Yes.
Tweet it out. Get that Twitter hype going as well.
Please,
possibly,
let us know.
Maybe make something trending at the same time.
Yes,
that would always be a great thing.
Very much appreciated.
And it does seem like you have Izzy, Hopi, and Wolfie. So it does seem like Hysteria is going to be
Dave. All right.
under
excellent.
the Bioacid tag, and hopefully
we
will be able to swap teams. There we go.
Yes, awesome. Underway. Let's go. Let's do this.
Staying on up.
Nope, maybe not.
We're
going to have to end it.
Possibly not. Close try.
Close try.
Definitely a close try for that, and possibly having maybe some technical issues. Maybe because we maybe jumped the gun.
I think we did a little bit.
And he maybe because that would have been hilariously funny because I do know Bio actually does play in a really weird configuration.
He plays like old school Nintendo GoldenEye controls. So I think he plays inverted Legacy and some other horrible button configuation.
Yeah, so it's definitely not the normal range of things, and that would have been hilariously funny if you could have seen that.
I guarantee you that's why he would have been on the other team.
Possibly. Possibly instead of going one way.
Yeah.
That actually does explain a lot, and hopefully we'll be able to get that sorted.
We'll give him a second. Look at him. I can see Dave there is just freaking out, trying to change the Bioacid's ridiculous controls.
It's okay though, because we're going to be having the action coming once again very, very soon. Just having those technical issues, but Vol, you mentioned about your predictions overall. Now, we have our Pro Pool so far, and we can talk a little bit about that. Of course, we have Plantronics, Mindfreak, we have Uproar Ignitions, who are respectively first and fourth. Now, in between that, we have AVANT T1, who are coming in third, but second was Textbook Black.
Yes,
now,
that's cool.
They were a little bit of a pickup team leading into this event, but they had incredible backgrounds behind them to bring them to that second seed here for this Pro Pool. Tell me a little bit about these teams and what you think the final results of that Pro Pool will be.
All right, Pro Pool, obviously got to start number one. You really can't discount MF. That's obviously going to be their first place. I don't really have any doubts. I think it might be a bit different if we had Trident in. I think that would have made sort of juiced things around a little bit. Would have made some more rivalries sort of happen. Second, I'm not sure. I'm interested to see how AV play against IG. I think that would be a really interesting series. Just because IG's got a little bit of time together, but I think they've got a fresh squad for this event now without Zeus.
Yeah, they have.
Which makes me sad. Makes me very sad.
Scrism.
Yes. What do you think about that pickup?
I think it was an interesting pickup.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know the drama behind the scenes
Neither
there
do
for
I.
those teams. So The change was definitely interesting, but they got Killer Pie back as well, so they got the
Yes,
original
I'm
trio.
so happy they have the original trio back. That means so much to me to see teams sticking it out, staying together. I hope that stays that way, and I really hope they get Zeus back. I think Zeus is probably one of the best ARs out of New Zealand in a very long time. He's a good bloke as well.
Yeah, of course. And once again, he's competing for Textbook Black. So
Yes.
out of the New Zealand players who have crossed the edge, there's quite a few of them here.
They're
in the
doing
pro
good. They're in the pro pool. It's amazing. It's pretty unexpected. Who we got coming in third? Oh, sorry, second. We haven't even agreed on second. It's going to be a toss-up, I think, between maybe AV and IG for our second seed.
Yep.
A little bit sketchy there, because I'm not sure how Textbook is actually going to go in the long run. Like, I think they have skill. I think they have a lot of it, but I'm not sure how it's going to end up in the end of things.
I'm personally thinking Mindfreak first, AVANT second,
Yep.
IG third, and then Textbook
Ooh, you reckon
Black
Textbook
fourth.
last?
But I think it will be a very, very close contention.
Yes, me too. I don't know. Textbook, man. I think they can. I think they have the potential to not,
they have the
be
potential
the fourth
to,
seed.
but I don't know. I'm loving the IG trio.
I agree. All right. Jumping in. Who are we on board with?
We're going to be on board with Fighter up first, of course. Lover, not a fighter here as he contests this first hard point. Of course, first hard point there at the courtyard. Shocks will actually get picked off as first blunted there by Hopi. And, we're going to be having Hysteria also taking out Den. So Avant definitely slaying up early game.
Well, Fighter had early map control there. He had inside of towers, which is pretty important. He didn't even bother playing heal. He was just playing passive, playing defense, so he could get a bit of control for his team. But the boys didn't pick up the frags, so they're a little bit behind off this break. I think we'll see who's this. Hysteria here playing a bit slow. They're sort of on the awkward side. I hope he's flanking bottom. I don't know why. Should really be playing up top, grouping up and making those trades. We've got Fighter again playing very slow here. Probably the best possible position to play on this hill. But we've got like a double flank happening from AV, pushing back around through the lobby. It looks like they're trying to flip spawns with only being about 10 seconds left. So they're going to jump back on, and we're going to head into the total hill.
Of course, with that total hard point, you are going to be having these players trying to set up early. Now, it is going to be our Atlas squad of Avant, who do have 2 players there early game. But the team of Mindfreak are going to be trying to push on through. We do have a nice kill from Ize, but he does fall by that secondary player. Of course, Den's just going to be getting those points there from that hard point. And you do notice, look at the map there in that control. They might have had a couple of players not on that total site, but they were in that hotel, and they were trying to cover that area.
Yeah, AV made the right play by rotating a little bit early there, but MF sort of just blunt force trauma their way through. I think Den's picked up a couple of easy frags and sort of cleaned things up and made sure that MF is going to lead this game with a pretty hefty lead, 35-7.
Yeah, you're going to be having Fighter just trying to pick off assists everywhere he goes. He won't be able to actually pick off these kills, though, and he does get taken down. But Denz is just going to be racking up this kill streak. Now, as I said that, he did get taken down, so a little bit of a commentative curse right there.
Always.
But Shocks takes 1. Buzzin takes 2 as well. So that's 3 down as the Avant squad try to regroup and regather. You do see them there at the bottom of the stairs at that back alley side, trying to push in and contest Shocks. Now, Shocks just going to rotate around, but unfortunately, he picked the wrong target to go for, and he did get taken down.
Yeah, Avant really needed to rotate there. They pushed for that last sort of 10 seconds, and they're down by, 30 points already. They just can't afford to be making small mistakes like that, especially when MF just set up easily. No one from AV bothered to rotate out and cut pool at all. So they now have to push probably on the most awkward ground here. It will give them the superior spawn if Denz doesn't pick up these frags, which he does. I think he's going to pick up the third. No, teammate picks it up, and they have full control of this map right now.
That they do. I mean, it is going to be Shocks in this hard point. Den's just going to be picking off these frags, as you mentioned. Now, swapping over to Shocks, he's going to have plays contesting, but he doesn't need to do too much because his team has that covered. Now, you're going to be having Avant take out 2 players there. Wolfie, I'm going to count that, but it was a little bit of a friendly fire as well. They're still going to be breaching, and I mean, you still look at them just picking off the kills as they turn, and it's all about holding this and trying to catch back up on the scoreboard. They're not getting many points on the board here, and you can see that by the scoreline, 69 points
straight up
to 28.
Yeah, MF really just need to be playing this hill for contests. This is a hill that's easily able for you to hold the full 60, but if you're not in there early, then it's just basically a contest hill. It's really trade heavy back and forth. But you'll see MF will start to rotate now. There's 1 second left. We're going to jump into this bottom bar hill.
That we are. I mean, every player seems to jump on board with seems to want to die. So we're going to see if I can find a player that actually want to stay alive and try and get some more kills. Now, this is going to be Ize, and he's going to be able to take down 1. Now, Hopi also picked off another kill in the background as Ize picks off his second. Now, he's going to rotate through that bar side, but he will get taken. You see Avant trying to get that control. Now, Wolfie has this hard point covered for himself, but Mindfreak coming out through this cafe side will just be trying to breach aggressively. They shall, as 2 players drop from either team. We are going to be having Fighter in this hard point. Now, he's just trying to get these picks, but these players with that white cover being able to get these picks for themselves.
That was pretty clean there. I think AV's trying to do a pretty hefty retake. It's not happening. They're moving as a team, but they're not actually aiming up and trading down the kills. They sort of moved it as a squad, but didn't really make anything happen from that. We've got the final 10 seconds of the hill. Looks like AVANT have rotated early, and MF are going to have to do the retake here. Shox is in a good position. If he can get this opening frag on top of the hill, which he's not going to go for, he can play straight out of the back, gets traded. We've got Fighter pushing probably the optimal ground here underneath the hill, sorry. Pushing the back stairs. Takes 2. This should be a fairly easy hold now. As long as they have to get in, they actually have to get in now and play for the hill. Oh, Fighter gets taken down.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned about the AVANT squad actually being able to set up early and get that control. Now, Mindfreak were able to seemingly go in and then break it. Now, off the spawn, AVANT were able to fight back and gain that control once again. But, I mean, you still look at the scoreline, 108 points to 48. It is definitely quite the difference right now, as we do have Mindfreak, once again, just casually breaching the hard point like it's home.
They can't let that happen. I mean, Mindfreak has such a lead now, they can afford to sort of take their time to make sure every break counts. So they only have to break once every hill, and that's what they're doing, in all honesty. Like, they just took one effort, basically that, to break that. Shox in, has hill control, trades it out with an A. That's 3 dead. AV are going to spawn out pretty heavily down the bottom of the garden hill, and Den's out the back of Turtle is going to cut this easily. Shox will push it out, probably going to try and flip him out, force him to spawn in the gym. We've got 7 seconds left. Looks like AV's rotated. If Shox can get an early frag here, this will make pretty much all the difference to Mindfreak's lead. They'll definitely like extend this out pretty heavily. There we go. That's 2 dead, 3 dead. It's going to be really awkward for AV to take back now, especially if they're set up like this. There's 2 ARs in hill. Actually, surprisingly, Shox is running a bow. I'm not sure if he's picked that up or if he's running that on purpose. Sort of a bit strange, but I know for the US meta, when we played in LA, we played against a lot of bows. You guys have no idea what it's like as a sub. Like, we usually in the Australian meta, we run probably like 2 to 3 subs for most maps, but Americans run the opposite. It's like 2 to 3 barrels and an Amelie.
It seems to me like it's actually back to how we originally started playing.
Yeah, it really is.
The game first got released. It did change a little bit, but it does seem, well, once again, that meta's different. And Mindfreak have that experience from playing in multiple international competitions to realize this. And, you know, I mean, some of the players from AVANT have had that experience as well, or rather, you know, one of them in that international level.
Issei. Well,
but he can also, share that experience with his team.
Exactly. Issei is probably the right person you want to have had that experience. I feel like he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders when it comes to in-game stuff. I think his leadership's pretty mint. And I think he'll definitely, like, he has a good understanding of the meta. I've noticed that from playing this AVANT squad briefly. And I noticed that when he played, with his previous teams, with Dens and with Chileans. I think they played excellent as a team, which is actually surprising. Because I've known Issei for a very long time. It's taken him a bit of a while to get up to where he is, but where he is now is pretty bloody excellent, in all honesty.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you on that one, as I'm on board with Hopi right now to go back into the gameplay. We do have him contesting over on this Turtle side, unfortunately getting taken down, but Wolfie's going to be picking up the slack as he takes down one before getting shut down himself. Now, Fighter managed to pick off a double kill there in that one, and he tried to go for another one at the same time. Now, he might have got it, but he did get taken down in the process. But look at this scoreline. Nearly a 100-point game. It's 173 points and counting to 82 with 3 minutes left on the clock.
They really can't allow Shox to get kills like that. They really need this pool control so they can hold that and at least get a full 60 off this new hill, but letting Shox do stuff like that, they managed to recover from it from spawns by stacking up so heavily on the rock, but Shox, no one's cutting that properly. Like, see, they had the full team there at pool and no one's cutting it. They're hiding in a corner at the back of the rock. So that basically just allows MF the free best spawns basically for this entire hill and the easy trades.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that just constantly being reflected on every hard point.
Exactly.
Seems those little flaws that might not seem to be a little bit important are definitely the world here in these hardcore games.
It means everything, especially to MF, because MF they'll take any little mistake you make and just punish you for it. As you can see by the score, they're up by 90 points. That hasn't been like because of one big hill. That's been sort of consecutively getting all the time off the lower little hills and building that off. So that's every mistake that AVANT makes, MF will capitalize on.
See right here in this hard point, we are down to the lobby hard point itself, and you are going to be seeing Buzzin just going to be holding this one. Now, he's not going to be able to pick off those kills, though, because he's got his teammate Shox there with him to clean them all up for him. Now, Shox is actually going to be on a 3 streak before getting taken down. He didn't even need a swap to him. He just died because I was talking about him, and he's actually going to be 28 to 36. But Dens, you notice, he might not have been getting all those highlight kills that we have been seeing on Shox, but he's going 32 to 22.
That's pretty important. A lot of those frags that Dens gets are just really frustrating kills when you're sort of when he's breaking the hill. And a lot of the ones, like the little ones around it, that stop team plays happening. So that's probably the biggest thing I noticed in the US as well is, yes, teams push as a team, but the team that's playing defensively on the hill, they'll actually push out pretty hard to try and stop teams from setting up to make the breaks. Like, I know in Australia we push through hills, but this is different. The way they break, they play specifically to stop other teams from breaking. So they play for control, they play for certain areas of the map, as opposed to just YOLOing, essentially.
I mean, definitely, you know, sometimes YOLOing isn't such a bad thing, but I think on the
It's not
most
a bad
case,
thing, but
it's not the most ideal.
No, it's definitely not, especially when you're down by a good 100 points.
Yeah, no, I think I got to agree with you on that one. Still, the score is 210 points to 133. So even if the last 60 points went in favor of the AVANT squad, they wouldn't
But
be
it won't
able
because they haven't rotated.
to catch back up. Well, they won't. But even if, even if.
Hope he's got good ground, actually. They can make a play off this. No, never mind. Button sitting at the back of the map. That's perfect. Oh,
Still going to be having
I love those moves from
plays,
Wolfie.
I
Look at that.
mean,
The window bouncing. It's beautiful.
They might have that movement and some of that awareness down pack, but as you mentioned, I just want to highlight once again, there was a couple of points there, a lot of points there rather, that whole map. It seemed like little mistakes, but it just really highlighted here in that final scoreline. I mean, it wasn't as close as I was expecting leading into this game, and I mean, it might have been a little bit closer to what you were thinking, but highlight a little bit of what went wrong there in that game.
I think it was just a sort of a combination of lots of little small plays. Yes, AVANT is playing well as a team. They're moving pretty well together, but definitely on that first turtle hill, they just chased that late. They didn't have the rotations to that, and that really stuffed them up for the final bar hill, the lobby hill on the fourth hard point. I think that really stuffed them over early on in the game, and sort of allows MF to have this big dirty lead where they can sort of slowly chip away on every single hard point, just sort of trade it, contest it, and then make the big plays on the big points. Yep. Other than that, I think the barrels really made all the difference. I saw Dens did get a few kills sort of just hovering just outside of the subby range, like just outside of that 3-bullet kill range. And I think that's really why you'll see the numbers drop from Hopi and Wolfie. Not quite as good as they could be, but it's still all right. It's not bad.
Definitely could be just a little bit of a warm-up in progress. Now, the hard point was definitely one of the points I felt Mindfreak at their strongest point at.
Yes,
that hard point game.
definitely.
We're going to be moving into Capital Flag up next, though, and that's going to be thinking more, you know, AVANT, you know, they can't be discouraged. They can still, and once again, once you get that hype rolling in from Ize and, you know, to rally the troops, so to speak, they seem to go full steam ahead. It has been shown from, you know, earlier results and previous results, even online as well. They have been playing exceptionally well, but they have to get their heads in the game. Now, that hard point, once again, might not be their strongest, you know, strongest game type up against Mindfreak, but with that capture the flag send up next, they've really got to be hoping that they can make something happen.
Well, yeah, like I said earlier, I'm really interested to see how they play this map. I think if Dave plays defensive, it's going to be a little bit nerve-wracking. It's going to be a little bit clutchy. I think it'll be fun for us to watch, but I don't know how great it'll be to play. But if they play as a team, I think we're going to have a pretty damn good game on our hands. So I'm interested to see how they trade, because I saw Hopi and Wolfie, they played together, but I don't think it's quite as gelled, quite as tight as a lot of Shocks and Fighter are. Yep. So that's really going to make all the difference for flag pools. I'll be interested to see who's playing OBJ, like primarily for AVANT. I assume it'll be Hopi because he's probably got the most experience at it over the others, and I know probably Issei and not Bioacid. Hysteria will be we'll be ARing, no doubt. I'm interested to see though. I think Shocks. Actually, I don't know. I'm not sure if they're going to whip out 3 ARs on this Ascend map. That'll be the big thing. I think we'll see how much they've copied the international meta by how many battles MF is running, and I think you should follow them.
Yeah,
however many battles they're running.
I think we're going to find that out right after this short break, though. So we'll be back with more action live here from ACL Brisbane, live from the Edge.